Today we're talking about tea, and now I have a tea that is very dear to me. This is a Oolong tea from Taiwan, and this is a charcoal-baked Mi Xiang Oolong from Mount Ah Li. Mi Xiang refers to the fact that this tea was bitten by aphids, and it has that honey flavor that as a result of the aphids attacking the tea. But the charcoal bake is a traditional baking method where there's charcoal, there's a cement hole in the ground, and then charcoal is pressed into that hole, and then the tea is then stacked above that on bamboo trays, and then every 15 minutes you have to take the tea and shake it to sort of flip it over, and so then that's and then that will stay on the heat for about anywhere from 3 to 16 hours, depending on the level to which you want the tea to be to have this charcoal baked flavor. This charcoal baked oolong is actually I charcoal baked it myself, and that was the first charcoal baking I ever done. So it was quite an exciting process, and we actually used 60 kilos of charcoal from a longyan tree, and we then crushed all that charcoal up and pressed it down into this cement hole in the ground, and then we stacked the tea on that charcoal, and then once the tea was all spread out, then you would take a little handful of the tea out of the center, and then that way because the center is the hottest part, so then we wanted to have the hottest part not exposed, not have tea on the hottest part of the fire there, of the heat source. So about every 15 minutes, the timer would go off, and I would go and I would then pick up the bamboo rung that held the tea, and I would do a little shake motion, and then the tea would then flip, and then I would have to do that a few times and make sure all the tea got flipped over, and then actually when you first put the tea on over the heat source, it has a little bit of a foul aroma that comes out, but then when the tea starts to be ready and you know it's about done, is actually the aroma becomes very fragrant and very pleasant. So then you have to periodically just take a little bit of tea off the fire, brew it, and see if it's the level of baking that you want. So because this was my first charcoal baking, I didn't bake this tea very heavily. It's quite light, but one of the things that charcoal baking does is it infuses the tea with this sort of wood, this woodiness, and it gives a little bit of smoke flavor to the tea. So that's a little bit about the Mount Ah Li Mi Xiang charcoal baked oolong from Taiwan.